Hey, Melissa. When are you finally gonna move out of the house? Don't you know that this house belongs to my husband's family? It's high time that you just left.
Wait, what? Well, what do you mean? This isn't your husband's family's house, it's my family's house. And I don't have any plans to move out anytime soon, so I'm really not quite sure what you mean by that.
You really can be such a pain to deal with. Do you know that? Just how long are you going to make us all live together, huh? Don't you realize that it's high time you move out so that Brian and our son and I can all enjoy this house without you? Why do you always have to be such a burden on everyone and get in the way of what they want, huh?
Charlotte, are you serious? What makes you think that you can treat me this way after what I did for your son? Are you really forgetting that I paid the $40,000 for the surgery that he had? You came to me begging for help because you said that you two wouldn't be able to afford it at all, remember?
And so what? What is the point you're even trying to make with that, huh? You think that just because you helped us pay for some measly surgery that it makes you a saint or something like that? You think it means that we can never ask anything of you ever again? Or that you can boss us around just because of that?
Of course I don't think that. Charlotte, I really don't understand what's gotten into you. I mean, is this even really Charlotte? I don't think that I've ever seen you talk or write to me with this kind of tone.
You should know that the reason I held back and didn't talk to you this way earlier was exactly because you did pay for little Tommy's surgery. But now that all of that is over and done with, I really just don't have any use for you at all. So why don't you just pack your bags and get out?
I really have no idea what you're talking about at all. What does that have to do with the other at all? Are you just saying that you've been letting me live here because I had paid for your son's surgery before? You know that's not how this works, right?
Of course it's how it works. I consider that surgery you paid for as you paying rent to us. And now that you haven't paid any rent in a while, I just don't see the point in us living together anymore.
And that's really how you feel about this whole living situation that we have? Here I thought that you were such a kind and understanding person. But I guess you were just hiding this side of yourself from me.
Well, I really didn't have much choice, did I? I knew that I needed to treat you kindly since you were paying for the surgery and all. But once I heard that Brian's family had a huge house, I thought we all might be able to move in there and enjoy being closer to his family. Unfortunately, it was only after we decided to move into there that I realized that you were also living here. You have no idea how disappointing that was.
I'm sorry you were disappointed, but I was living here first, so it's not like I was trying to let you down with my presence.
And of course, it's not that I blame you for wanting to stay here. We just thought that you would have gone and found someone to get married to so that you could have moved out by now. But I thought that once we moved in, you would think more seriously about moving out. And that was already a long time ago and you were still living here.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say. This house has a lot of sentimental value to my family. And I have so many memories from here as well. Not just me, but all my brothers as well. So I can't just pack up my bags and leave this place like it was never mine.
No, don't you realize that you're keeping other people waiting with your selfishness? Don't you think you've been squatting here long enough already? I bet if you just got up and moved out of the house, you would lose all those silly little feelings of yours. Besides, now that you've paid for Tommy's surgery, I don't see why you think you should get to stay in this house any longer.
Charlotte, have you not been reading these texts? I am trying to tell you that this house belongs to my family. That's why I'm living here, and that's why I'm going to continue to live here.
You really just don't know anything at all, do you? Don't you know that houses always go to the eldest child? That means that this house didn't actually go to you, it went to your brother Brian, didn't it? So why don't you go out and find someone to marry you so that you can finally just leave us alone?
Well, have you talked to my brother about this? What does he have to say about you trying to kick me out of the house like this?
Oh, don't you worry about Brian. He completely agrees with what I'm doing here. But of course he is. After all, you're squatting on his birthright. And we've been very patient with you, letting you stay here as long as we have, don't you think?
Look, I'm not trying to say that this house won't ultimately end up going to Brian, but I'm just saying that you need to be a little more patient. These things need more time to unfold and happen.
You may have your pace, but I have my pace, and it's a lot faster than yours. Now why can't you just move out already?
Actually, I have something that I've been wanting to talk to you for a while now. You've been going in and out of my room without asking me, haven't you?
Going into your room? What are you talking about? I practically own this house, so I'll go into whichever room I please, thank you very much. And just what's wrong with me going into your room? Is there something you're trying to hide? If you don't like me doing it, then maybe you should just move out.
Charlotte, please! We've talked about this before, and I just don't want you snooping around my room if there's no need for you to be in there. Besides, I have a lot of important things that my parents left me in there. I would just appreciate as few people as possible passing through there, if that's all right.
Like I said, if you don't like me going into your room, then how about you pack up your bags and move out? Because otherwise, we're just going to have this same conversation over and over again.
Well, I suppose it really is starting to seem that way, isn't it? Why do you have to be like this?
If you don't like it, Melissa, you know exactly what you can do to solve this issue. But don't pretend like you can just squat here forever because you paid for one lousy surgery.
I'm going to have to chat with my brother about this. I'll need some time to think, okay? Hey, Brian, are you there? I kind of needed to talk to you a little bit about Charlotte. Is now a good time to have this chat?
Oh, hey there, sis. You wanted to talk to me about my wife? Well, sure, I guess I have time. What's on your mind?
Well, the thing is that Charlotte has been demanding that I move out of the family house. Not only that, but she said that you agreed with her that I should leave. Am I really causing that much trouble being at home?
Wait, what? Melissa, come on. You know that I would never ask you to move out. It's like you said. This is our family house, and you're as entitled to it as I am. I would never, ever try and kick you out of there.
Oh, thank goodness. I knew that didn't sound like you at all. I just knew it. But I guess that means that Charlotte was just lying to me about what you said to try and make me believe her.
You know, I haven't told many people about this, but something really has changed in that woman lately. She just doesn't seem to know how to act decent around people anymore. She's just gotten herself so worked up about this house, saying that we're the only ones who should get to use it. And I've tried to explain to her that this is the house where you and I grew up in, and that we both have a lot of precious memories here. But she just doesn't want to hear any of it.
I see. To be honest, I didn't want to say anything either, but I could kind of sense a tension growing between the two of you. It's like you always have something to say, but I can see you holding yourself back and letting Charlotte speak her mind. So I guess I was just a bit surprised when she started talking to me about all of this too.
So I guess she was pretty forceful in asking you to move out then?
She certainly didn't hold back on the insults or low blows, I'll say that much. And she even is acting like it was no big deal about Tommy's surgery. She just said that was how I paid rent to keep living with her. That one really blew my mind. I mean, how could you act like that towards someone?
You mean she wasn't being grateful at all for what you did for our son?
Grateful is certainly not the word that I would use to describe how Charlotte was acting towards me. She just acted as if it was a given that I should have paid for the surgery, but not that she should let me keep living in my own damn house. And when she said that you agreed with her, well, that's when I knew that I had to talk to you about this.
I see. Well, I really am so sorry that Char has been acting that way towards you. I heard her complaining about you, asking her not to go in your room, too. I guess she said that you caught her taking things from there before. And here I thought that you were actually going to get along while living here.
Wait, what? She took things out of my room! When did this happen? Do you remember what she took?
I thought she had taken some bags and makeup and stuff like that, but she said that you lent her some of those too.
What? I haven't lent her anything at all. And if she's taking things like that, then she could actually be taking some of Mom's things. You know that I don't really care about handbags or makeup or stuff like that, so what I have in my room of that is all Mom's stuff. You remember how much she spent on nice things like that, right?
But she told me that you lent them to her. I just don't really know what to think now. I really just wish that this wasn't happening, though.
Well, this is exactly why I was telling her to stay out of my room to begin with. I was worried something like this might happen.
So then, you really think that she's orchestrating this big lie or something like that? Telling you one thing and then telling me something else?
At this point, I really don't know what else to believe but that. How could it be anything else?
Well, look, I'm certainly not trying to make excuses for her, but you might want to know that when she was little, her dad actually robbed his own house before running away. It basically meant that her mom had to raise Charlotte with virtually no savings or assets to speak of.
Oh, I see. Well, I had no idea about any of that, but I guess I would have just thought she might empathize with us a bit more. I still just can't understand why she would want to kick me out of the house I've been living in for all this time.
I know. I really just don't know where she gets some of these ideas from sometimes. I really did hope that moving in here would help her make friends and settle in, but...
No, I know what you mean. I also hoped that you guys living here would bring us all closer together. I think maybe there might have been a few times that I ignored red flags from Charlotte, hoping that it would all work itself out. But I guess maybe we should have been more proactive at doing things together instead of hoping it would all work out.
I think you might be right about that. But let me try and talk to her. I mean, I'm not sure she realized just quite how much you've actually done for our son.
Well, okay, I just don't want to be the reason why you two get into a fight. Charlotte? Did you come into my room again? I thought I told you to stop doing that without my permission. And did you take stuff from here too? I noticed so many things missing from where they should be. Why don't you ever listen to me when I tell you not to come into my room without asking me first?
You know what? I have had just about enough out of you. Do you think that I don't know what's going on? Do you really think that I don't know that you're just after the money that's in this house? That's a real reason why I can't stand the thought of living with you.
Charlotte, I just want to know why you think you have a right to go into my room without my permission. What makes you think you can do that and take things out of there as well?
I can do that because I need to collect rent from you somehow. Tommy is going to need another surgery and I don't have the money for it. So if you thought that you were going to get to live here free forever, then you're dead wrong.
But I already contribute $1,000 a month to the house and expenses and stuff. Besides, I don't see why I should have to pay rent to live in the house that belongs to my family. After all, the mortgage is already paid off. So why can't I just keep paying $1,000 a month like I have been? Why are you so determined to try and kick me out of my own home? I just can't understand that.
You have no idea just how long I've been holding back for the sake of my son. That's why I've been so stressed out about everything lately. Not only that, but you know that I only have a part-time job that barely pays me anything. Just why do you think $1,000 a month is enough for me?
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't pay $1,000 a month so that you can go out and have fun. I'm putting that towards the house so that we can eat and pay the utilities and things like that. And just why are you wanting more to go out when your own son is in the hospital again?
Oh, shut up! You're not my mother and you're not Tommy's mother. How dare you try and tell me how I should live my life or raise my son? I am sick of having you around here. I want you to pack up your bags and I want you out of here right now.
Well, fine then. If that's really what you want, then I'll leave. But you'll regret this. Good luck with the 3 other surgeries Tommy is going to need.
What in the world are you talking about? There's no 3 surgeries! My little Tommy is all done with those and is healthy as a horse.
You don't actually think that's true, do you? Don't you know anything about your son's condition at all? The first surgery that I paid for was only the first of a 4-part sequence. Tommy still has 3 more surgeries to go. The doctor said that his disease was advancing and that the process involved repeated surgeries.
Wait, what? But, I mean, you're telling me my son is going to need 3 more surgeries just to have a chance at surviving?
That's right. But this is a good thing. The doctors are very optimistic about this treatment plan. But I guess you'd rather I just put more money in the house so that you can spend it on yourself, right?
Oh, I see. Why didn't you tell me this from the very start?
Well, we are talking about it now. And when I get back home, you, my brother, and I are all going to talk about this in person. Your son still needs surgeries, and this isn't something that's going to be settled over text.
Well, great, then. Let's just all meet at home and we can talk about how much money we'll need from you to get through this.
You really are so obvious. Do you even realize that? Do you ever get tired of using your son to try and squeeze money and pity and favors out of people? Even when it came to you stealing from my room, you used your son's medical bills as an excuse for what you were doing.
That isn't true at all. You really have no idea what you're talking about, Melissa.
Well, I just want you to know that if I move out of this house, I'm not going to pay for another one of Tommy's surgeries. You and Brian are just going to have to figure something out on your own. But if it's really what you want, then I'll pack up my things and I'll move out of the house like you want.
Now hold on just a second. Can't you pick up on a joke when someone tells you one? Of course you can stay in the house. We'd be more than happy to let you stay. You and I can be friends again and everything.
Wow. I really don't know whether or not I should be shocked or just disappointed at your change in tone. But if you think that we're going to be friends after you said what you said to me, after you stole my mom's heirlooms from my room, you should just know that I'm not going to forgive you for what you've done.
Your mom's heirlooms? What are you talking about?
I mean all the bags and makeup and things like that that you've stolen from my room when you've gone in there. Those weren't mine. They were things that my mom left behind after she passed away. You took them out of my room and used them like you would any other accessory or product.
Oh, wait. Those were your mom's? I had no idea about that. But I hardly use them at all. I promise that the bags only have a little bit of wear and tear. But if it's really that big of a deal, I'll return them all.
I can't believe that you would take what's not yours and not even offer to repair what you damaged!
I'm sorry, I really just thought I was borrowing them. I didn't know they belonged to your mom.
You had no right to borrow them in the first place. I already asked you to stop using them, didn't I?
I know, but I never saw you using them, and I thought it was such a waste to leave them like that.
You realize that you still haven't even apologized for what you've done yet, right?
Okay. You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have acted the way I did, and this house belongs to you, okay? So please don't leave us.
I still don't think that you're ready to act like the mother that you ought to be to Tommy.
How can you say that? What does that even mean?
I mean, here you are, acting like you need money for his surgery, but you've been stealing and selling all just to get a little extra spending money for yourself. Not only that, but I overheard you on the phone one day talking to someone who sounded like another man. You were bragging all about the wonderful things that were in the house that you can sell. I have to say that I was really surprised when I first heard that, though. Then I realized that it wasn't that you didn't have enough money for Tommy's surgery. You were just hiding the money you did have from my brother. Well, now we've caught you and there's nowhere for you to go. I'll tell my brother all about this and he'll know how to deal with you. In the end, I presented my brother with the proof I had of Charlotte's thefts. I even hired a PI to look into who the man could be. The detective found proof that Charlotte was having an affair with this man, and that led to Brian asking for a divorce. As part of the divorce proceedings, the court ordered Charlotte to pay for all of Tommy's remaining surgeries while Brian was given full custody. Brian apologized for all that he had put me through with Charlotte, but I was just glad that Tommy was going to be okay. I have no idea where Charlotte went after that. And as long as she's keeping up with her payments, I really don't care. Meanwhile, it took some time for Brian to begin to put himself out there in the dating world as a single father. But eventually he met a new woman he proposed to. Luckily, Brian's new fiancée was much more independent and showed no interest in wanting to live in the same house. And that suits me just fine. It suits me even better that we're able to get along and that never once have I had to ask her not to go into my room when her and Brian have come over to visit.